just, I remember one time having a conversation with a guy, and we had put some marketing out there, and then the next trade show we show up, and they had taken our tagline word for word and put it on their product.
Yeah.
And they had they were a larger company, so they'd put it above the door. And I remember having a conversation with the guy, and he was like, yeah, just giving him a hard time about it. And there was some playful pushback, you know what I mean? And I think at some point somebody was like, yeah, well, I mean, how big are you guys anyway? And he's like, $2 billion. But you never hear that in surf.
Shade isn't a place you hide. It's where you pause, where you think, where real work happens. Quietly, creatively, and authentically. No slides, no filters. Just candid conversation about a story worth telling. It's not about villains. This is where brand builders, creatives, and storytellers come to share the stories they usually don't tell in pitch decks or press releases. It's about the people who work behind the scenes, challenge the obvious, bend the rules, or build unforgettable brands. This is
Shady Characters.
We've got a shady character with us today. We've got longtime friend Pete Stirling. Pete is the CEO of a pet wellness brand called Skout's Honor. Skout's Honor is located down in Oceanside, California, and Pete also happens to be a neighbor and all-around good guy and an avid outdoorsman. And so we're hearing a little bit about what it takes to be a waterman, but we'd also like to hear a bit about what is Skout's Honor and how you came to become the CEO of this brand. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So how long has Skout's Honor been around at this point?
It's been 10 years.
10 years, man.
Yeah, 10 years, a decade.
Yeah. And this is a venture that you and longtime friend Macon Brock entered into a decade ago. You had this idea together. How did that come to be?
Macon, so we'd done Watermans before in the past. And then that had been a huge success in some ways and a massive failure financially. So we ended up splitting, separating, and going our own separate ways and trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And he basically called me up one day, and it was a very important day for me because I was kind of trying to pick between two jobs. I was either going to go work at Wells Fargo, or I was going to work for a bank, or I was going to work for like an investment bank. And I'm sitting there in a suit and tie in my Toyota, just staring at the steering wheel because I've never worn a suit and tie in my entire life. Getting ready to potentially go to work and trying to decide which one I was going to go to because I accepted both offers, and it was just like, where do I go? Do I drive to Carlsbad and go to this one, or do I drive to San Juan Capistrano and go to the other? And Macon called me up and he says, I got this idea. And I said, what is it? He goes, let's start a pet brand. And I said, well, what are we going to call it? He goes, Skout's Honor. I said, okay. Walked in, told my wife with our brand new kid, hey, I got this, I know I got this job, this steady job that I'm about to go take, but instead, do you think it would be okay if I went and worked with Macon again?
If I went to play with my buddy again?
Yeah. No questions asked. She just goes, you're always happier when you're working with Macon. Just go do it. So
but you guys had a lot of experience in pet care and pet brands at that point, right?
No, none at all. Period.
I'm like, wait, did I miss part of the conversation?
I had owned a dog. Yeah, it was.
And Macon had owned a dog named Skout. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
Macon's sister actually has a German Short-Hair Pointer named Skout.
Okay.
So he had at that time, I think he had at least 2 Frenchies, like lizards, fish, all kinds of stuff, in a menagerie. But so we decided, because when we originally started Watermans, the idea was we could either do Watermans or we could have done this brand called Libyan Sachi, which was, he wanted to do a high-end shampoo brand for pets. And the entire argument for not doing that was we know nothing about the pet industry, and it would be completely crazy for us to go and chase this down. So we didn't do it. And then that's why he circled back around to it, is, hey, we tried the surf thing, it didn't really work out for us, let's do this instead. So I sat down, buckled down, started writing a business plan, kind of buffing out what Skout's Honor would be.
Sure.
And we had some really cool opportunities with some of the new products that had been introduced to the market from a raw material standpoint as a result of this California Green Chemistry Initiative, right? So the state of California basically decided that they're going to tell people they couldn't sell these cleaning ingredients that had been on the market for hundreds of years, it seems like, because they weren't necessarily the best in terms of indoor air pollution, high VOCs, like volatile organic chemicals, right? So
Which seems like a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. What was really unique about it was because the state of California at the time was the seventh largest economy. I think now it's the fifth. That it forced all the biggest names in that chemical industry to go back to the drawing board and reinvent the wheel on some of these cleaners, because you can't just go and sell what you're selling to my grandma anymore in California. And they were pulling products off the shelves. It wasn't like wasn't a light touch. It was like, straight up, you can't sell this in California anymore. You can't manufacture, distribute, or sell it.
And this was big brands like 409 and all that, right?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Anything. There was nothing grandfathered in.
Yeah.
And so, but it would because you had these really high level, groups going in and producing new versions. There was all these cool little boutique ingredients out there, and some of them were pretty expensive. So you couldn't go and make a cleaner and sell it in Walmart for $2.49.
Yeah.
But the pet industry has always been hungry for things that'll take urine or feces out of a carpet or vomit.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so there was an ingredient that was really interesting because it just had the same qualities of a very, very, very effective surfactant and a very effective solvent, but it wasn't a solvent, it was a surfactant. So surfactant's like a soap.
Okay.
It's not a soap, but it is a soap. It just basically separates this dirt or whatever from a substrate, so like a surface, right? Creates a little separation, makes it easy to remove.
Okay.
And so we had our eyes on that and just set about writing the business plan, kind of figuring out what the brand was going to be. And we really didn't want to pigeonhole the brand as a cleaning company because we didn't know where it was going to go next. So we came up with this idea of just creating a brand that was going to produce products that improve the lives of pets and their people, change what people expect from a pet product. Right. So and we also wanted to be a brand people would be proud to purchase from, somebody that they could associate with. And we laid all that out, got our vision, our mission, our values in place, environmentally and socially conscious, which isn't that I think some of that gets lost in translation sometimes. I mean, the meaning behind that is essentially that we're going to take all this stuff and we're going to be aware of what we're doing.
Sure.
We're not going to do anything unintentionally. And we're going to be aware of what people expect from a product and these product claims that we're making. So, we've gone through a million changes over the years, and this is a tangent because of the fact over the last 10 years, because the customer's expectations associated with certain claims have shifted, right? So just being aware of that, being on top of it, we really wanted to do something to give back. So we did the buy a bottle, feed an animal scenario. So that's been something we've completely undermarketed, but we've always been very proud of. And it's because both he and I need a reason to show up to work every day, more than just making money. It's like, what am I doing today? Like, why am I doing this? Because there's always going to be that point in time when you're starting a business. Why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
I could go work at Wells Fargo, I have a sociology degree, and that's where 70% of sociology graduates go work. So it's
either that or enterprise, right?
It's actually Wells Fargo is the number one employer of sociology graduates. Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, so we set about doing that. We launched the product in 2016, and there's millions of stories involved with launching a business. So I don't know how deep you guys want me to go, but we got the opportunity about a year or so later to really start thinking about doing some grooming products. Stumbled upon a really neat new approach to animal grooming with our topical probiotic products. Spun that off into some wellness products as well. COVID hit. Got the opportunity to really start digging into flea and tick and some of the other products that are just more staples in the pet market.
How was COVID for you guys? Was it busier? Was it slower? Did it have much of an effect on you at all?
How much time you got, man?
I feel like people went crazy for their pets during COVID.
I was going to
didn't
say,
they?
I thought it might be a good time because everyone's home with their animals, and it's like that's your attention. At that point, you're not working.
Yeah, but we were not an established brand.
Yeah,
I mean, we were,
okay.
but we weren't, right? So, I mean, if you had an established brand and you were going into that period of time and you were able to get product on the shelf, it was like a rocket ship to the moon.
Yeah.
For us, we weren't in that position where we were just we had that blanketed approach to the retail side of the market. So, and we never really wanted to be an e-com brand. That was something I think really set us apart.
Gotcha.
We wanted to be in brick and mortar. Both Macon and I have brick and mortar backgrounds. We wanted to be brick and mortar.
Which
we
when
believe
stores close, that becomes a problem.
Stores close, that becomes a problem. And luckily, all the pet stores sort of kept their essential business.
They were able to stay open.
They were able to stay open. I mean, they got pretty creative with how they were getting product to the customer for a hot minute there, but then it was sort of business as usual with a mask on.
Yeah.
So COVID for us was really about trying to figure out how to benefit from the environment that we found ourselves in a way that was both honest to who we were trying to be as a brand, but also would allow us to capitalize on the moment and get more of a footprint. So the biggest win for us during COVID was really developing very fast and meaningful relationships with a lot of the retailers and being able to expand our retail footprint dramatically during that period of time. We got pretty creative with our approach.
Yep.
So it's that was definitely, again, there's like a massive story there.
Yeah.
But it's it was fun. It was exciting. It was very much seat of your pants. It was very in the moment, very reactionary, but also very intentional. And we came out on top with a fairly decent retail footprint, and we've been able to grow that over the course, following up, because the pet ownership did decline rapidly after that. I mean, and by 2023, we were pretty much back to just being on trend as if COVID had never happened. But I think timing's everything when it comes to any level of success. And for us, it was that we kind of had been on this, our rocket ship had just started to take off. So when things settled back to normal, that for us still represented significant growth opportunity.
Sure. Yep.
As opposed to being established, seeing this massive growth and then having a downturn.
Yep.
So it was, it was.
I think you described, as you're describing Skouts, I heard a couple words used that I think are so indicative of who Skouts is. And you used the word, we had to get creative here. You used the word fun. And I think that those are both things that people would largely attribute to kind of the look, the feel, the vibe of your brand. Is that, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of that comes down to the people too.
Sure.
I mean, we've curated a good group of people that work in the company that are fun.
But I mean, I mean, even down to some of the more risque ads you guys have run over the years. You guys have taken what largely had been kind of a dormant category and kind of flipped it on its head a little bit and approached the customer in a way that maybe they hadn't seen before, and probably to your benefit, right?
It's kind of the way Skull Candy approached headphones, Stance approached socks. You guys found a category that was pretty stagnant and boring, and you put a little personality to it.
Yeah, I love the pet industry. I think it's
Yep.
great. The people in the pet industry are amazing. It's a new home for me. I can see myself working in pet for the rest of my life.
It's come a long
But-
way over the past couple of years, that's for sure.
What we did is, so you just brought up a couple of great examples. Skull Candy didn't make the first set of headphones.
Yeah.
Right.
Stance didn't make the first socks. What Skull Candy and Stance did was they took the action sports industry into
Sure.
markets or into categories where it previously hadn't played.
Right.
And to a large extent, that is what we did.
Yep.
So our company is primarily made up of people that have worked in the action sports industry or people that have that type of a background. We try not to specifically hire people that have worked in pet.
Yeah.
And there are certain roles within the company which I think that background, that history, and that understanding of the market and the sport place is very important. But we wanted people that had experience in action sports to handle some key roles, simply because there's a certain sort of cockiness, confidence, and like playfulness that I think is a matter of survival in action sports. Bringing that into pet, I'm bringing it all back to the people. If you get a good group of people that are creative, they're fun, they go out there and they're not afraid to be themselves and be honest about who they are in front of other people, and you put them in a room full of people that have never experienced that type of an attitude or an atmosphere that type of attitude can create, it can be really engaging. And that is a big part of our brand and who we are, is
Yep.
that we're a decade in. I mean, it's hard for me not to say that I'm not a pet guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very much a part of the industry, and the
Sure.
industry is very much a part of me. But I still have this background that I can lean on and draw off of to bring something new to the space.
Yeah.
When we first showed up in pet, we go to a trade show and it's cloth booths set up, just that standard, I'm going to rent it from GES, pop-up booths. I mean, some are pretty elaborate.
Yeah.
They got their little stands, their product on it and things like that. And we show up with a straight up Surf Expo ASR booth,
Yeah.
it's like reclaimed wood, all the lighting, you know, all the colors. We're wearing jeans and T-shirts. We got a keg in the booth, and it was. I mean, people were just like, "Whoa," you know. And now it's all like that.
Yeah.
It's.
But a decade ago, that was very disruptive and very outside of the box thinking.
And it made people think we were way bigger than we really were.
Yeah.
It's like, why are these guys acting like this? You know, like, who do they think they are?
They're so cocky.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can you turn that music down? I'm trying to have a meeting.
Well, our catalogs and stuff, just super bright colors and just the layout and things like that. It was more like we were doing something to show off wetsuits and leashes than we were doing something to show off stuff to clean pee out of your carpet.
Sure.
And we always acted like this massive company. In a lot of ways, too. I mean, this is our ignorance. We thought we were, too. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time having a conversation with a guy, and we had put some marketing out there, and then the next trade show we show up, and they had taken our tagline, word for word, and put it on their product.
Yeah.
And they had they were a larger company, so they put it above the door. And I remember having a conversation with the guy, and he was like, yeah, you know, just giving him a hard time about it. And there was some playful pushback, you know what I mean? And I think at some point somebody was like, yeah, well, I mean, how big are you guys anyway? And he's like, oh, $2 billion. But you never hear that in surf.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think
No.
there's a surf company in the world that's $2 billion.
Sure.
I mean, there might be now that they've kind of made all the surf companies one
the
company.
big mega,
But
yeah.
it's but I mean, when I was a kid growing up in surf, it was, I mean, if a company was doing a couple $1 million, it was like, wow, these guys are killing
When we
it.
were at
Yeah.
Oakley, we broke the $1 billion mark, and that was like a huge milestone.
That's Oakley.
Yeah, and
I
that's
mean,
a
it's-
massive company.
And that's not, I mean, that's all action sports.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't even know how to ride a motorcycle. I'd probably fall off a bicycle at this point if you put me on one. So, I mean, for me, it's, when I think action sports, I'm really just talking about surf.
Yeah.
Paddling
Yeah.
and surf. Yeah. Just connected stuff. But
Yeah. So if I'm hearing you correctly, finding people that weren't previously jaded to what the industry represented at that time is still important when you're searching out even applicants. It's like having experiences outside of this industry specific thing. There's a value to that, and I think oftentimes people approach an industry with almost this imposter syndrome when they're applying for jobs. And you're telling me that you guys celebrate that. It's like, I know that you don't come from pet, and that's a good thing because you don't have these preconceived notions about how this brand should look and how this brand should act yet. You can still take all these learnings from these other unique places and apply them in a way that disrupts our industry, and that's kind of what Skout's Honor has really built upon.
yeah, I mean, even when it comes to just the marketing, right? I mean, I think what we're really looking for is just somebody that is we want somebody that's gonna contribute something different.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily about trying to break this old mold as much as it is is there something that is being overlooked, maybe something that other people aren't seeing, other people aren't doing.
Find the white space.
Find the white space, and it can happen in any part of a business. It can be in our shipping and receiving. I mean, is there somebody that is coming out of a different industry where they're working with much more complicated but efficient systems? Is that bring that person in as opposed to the person that ran our competitor's warehouse
Sure.
and was doing everything with pen and paper, or doing everything through QuickBooks.
Yep.
In marketing, it's obviously very visual.
Yep.
You know, I mean, one thing that we try to limit in terms of how we do it is when we stepped in the marketplace, almost every product, if you walked into Pets Plus, which is one of my favorite retailers, would have a dog on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have a little caricature of a dog. It's a
Sure.
hand-drawn dog. I mean, we're talking like faces of a dog. Like, here's a dog and here's a cat. There's a picture of my dog, a picture of my cat on my bottle of shampoo.
Yep.
And it's kind of, we didn't want to be that brand. We want to be something completely different.
Yeah.
So one thing that we recognized early on, which I think that was undervalued by people that were selling in our space, was that we didn't make products for pets.
Yeah.
No dog wants you to remove the urine that they just carefully placed on the side of your couch, from the side of your couch. No dog
They're proud
wants...
of that. They're proud of that.
Yeah, no dog wants a bath. Like, they want, like, it just rolled in fresh poop, bro. Why you like? There's a dead animal in the park. I got it all over me. Why are you trying to wash it off? I mean, are there things that like a dog probably needs if it has dirty ears or whatever to help keep it, more functional and happy? Yeah, but does it know that, or does it care about that, or does it really want you to put something in its ear? No. So we really focused all of our marketing on the person
Yeah.
in that relationship as opposed to on the pet. And that, again, largely came from just looking at things from a different perspective,
Yep.
which is,
Elevating the relationship between pets and their people.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and really, I mean, when it comes to elevating the relationship between pets and people, it's really about elevating the ease of that relationship on the person.
Sure.
Because that dog's going to love you till the day it dies.
Yeah.
You can treat it like you can treat it like a dog, right? Like an old, like
He is in
my-
the kitchen at my feet
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
I trip over him probably 60 times a day, so I get it.
But it was, so cleaning was an easy walk-in for us because the one thing that people complain about the most when it comes to having a puppy or a dog is that it peed or it pooped and it's cleaning up after it. So we make it cleaner that makes that easier. You just improve the lives of pets and their people.
Yeah.
We made a cat litter box deodorizer because we found out that the number one reason why cats are brought to shelters is because of the litter box odor. So we made a litter box deodorizer. What can we do to kind of make this relationship more functional and easier?
Yeah.
And just so they can spend more time loving their animal and less time cleaning up after it. That was kind of our go-to when we first launched. And then it's just continued as we started to do the grooming and the wellness. It was really focusing on what are the biggest complaints people have about their animals when it comes to grooming scenario. And it's always the itching, the scratching, the dander, the odor, this or that. So it's really going, what is there technology out there we could find that we could bring and curate or bring into the market to help solve this problem and make life live with the pet a little easier for the owner.
Yep.
Which we try not to call them owners. We know,
Yeah.
the companion. Yeah.
The companion.
yeah,
I do think.
I was like, what? Yeah, so they're companions. Okay.
Yeah, I do think that you guys have done a great job with kind of that branding and that separation. I walk into Pets Plus, which is next door to us here, and your product does stand out, right? It's the packaging looks more refined. It looks more contemporary. It doesn't look dated. The colors like stand out against the sea of similar colors in other brands and products. And I think you guys have done a really good job kind of finding that point of separation there. Is there an evolution to where that goes in the future, or do we expect other brands to start mimicking us at this point and then we evolve?
We're already seeing other brands mimic it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a welcome thing. I think the
Yeah.
entire industry benefits.
It means you're doing
from-
it the right way.
Yeah, and I mean, imitation is the best form of flattery. The entire industry can only benefit from every brand on the shelf being more saleable.
Sure.
Right? If everyone rises to a certain level, we just have to continue to improve. And we're so hard on ourselves. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, we're never happy with anything. I actually have had to kind of be the bulldog that's going, hey guys, like, you don't have to change it today. Like, we
Yeah.
just ride this out for 6 months to a year. If you left it up to Macon or the constant, the guy's so driven to constantly improve.
Yeah.
And it can be like that approach could be disruptive in a marketplace. So I'm kind of the yin to his yang
I
every
see.
once in a while, But even when we get a good designer, and if they're a good designer when they want to change what they did yesterday,
Sure.
they're not happy with it.
Yeah.
So it's like that to me, it's a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
I was
but
like,
it's worth
that's a
it.
good thing, and it's a bad thing because it means the project is never going to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be happier with the people we have working there now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone through our struggles over the years, but the group of people we have right now are fully capable of taking this thing to the next level.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity. I feel like it's been 4 or 5 years now that we've been kind of brought in to help support on some Scouts Honor projects every year. And by and large, the team has only continued. The tide has continued to rise, I think, in terms of the talent, what you guys are capable of, and the ideas that are coming forth. I think it only gets better and more fun and more refined in a really positive way.
Yeah, it's interesting. You get a bunch of really smart people in a room, and it can cause all kinds of conflict.
Sure.
I mean, and it's about trying to harness that
Yeah.
and point it in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my day-to-day is at this point.
Yeah.
Which is killer. I mean,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's never what I expected I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that when I come to your office, obviously there are pet-friendly environments, and you guys are a pet care brand. So You guys have kind of taken that to the next level. But the first thing you see when you pull up to the Scout's office is the play yard in the front and the red fire hydrant and the dog, the dog yard, and there's the water feature and all the fun stuff even before you've entered into the building, right? It's like such a, you can see that that everyone there really just, and there's dogs everywhere, right? There's the pack mentality of like just they're cruising around, and I'm sure that, I bring my small dog into the office and he immediately runs and joins the next big dog there, and they kind of just cruise around looking for snacks all day, right?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It gets a little insane at times. What always amazes me is the one that's figure out how to open the doors.
Oh yeah, so they can get
And
into
then
your
it's
conference
just
room.
that's just their office. They don't care, right? But no, having the dogs around is great. So many people that have started working for us didn't have a dog, got a dog because they worked there.
Yeah.
We have one dog that's been within our office. She's come to our office pretty much, on a regular basis for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And she's had at least 3 different owners.
Oh wow.
In the company.
Oh, Indy.
Is this
Indy,
Indy?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's
of course.
this
I know
has
Indy.
to
Yeah.
be Indy.
There's even a rad wall where all the dogs have had professional portraits taken with their names on them, and you've got them all up there, almost like you would have like employee photos or something of employee of the month, but it's like every pet's or every owner's
every
pets
office
there.
office
Yeah.
dog,
We actually had to stop doing that. So some of those are old. We had to stop because it just got overwhelming.
There's too many dogs.
Yeah, too
now.
many.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
But no, it's really fun. I like bringing my dogs to work.
Yeah.
It's been something I've been able to do for the last 10 years at least. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably been more like I used to bring when I ran the Rip Curl Surf Shop in San Clemente. I used to bring my dog in, and everybody hated it. They eventually told me I had to stop, which he was great. I don't know why. I mean, he might have pooped on the floor a few times.
He only
but
bit 2 people.
Yeah,
I mean,
he never bit anybody. But no, it's nice to be able to kind of take your life with you to work every once in a while.
Yeah. What is the, you're a big dog guy, right?
Yeah.
What is the best breed of dog in your opinion?
That's a tough one, man. I mean,
We all know it's a French bulldog. It's fine. You can say
Oh
it.
gosh, I was watching this thing and it was a vet talking about the
Yeah.
10 worst
said it
dog
to me.
breeds, and he goes number 10 French bulldog, number 9
French bulldog. Yeah.
And I said this thing to Tim, I'm sorry, buddy.
I am gonna go on the record as saying I'm not a fan of the French bulldog.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Tim. I just
That's all right.
all the bulldogs, the full size English bulldogs,
Yeah.
are pretty cool.
Yeah,
but they're just a lot to deal with.
yeah,
I have a Labrador Retriever and it's Giant Shepherd mix.
yep,
I'm not gonna say either of them is easy to live with.
Yeah.
and this will shock you. I think the best, if I didn't do all the stuff that I do, where my lab gets, and he's my baby.
yeah,
My shepherd's like my brother. My lab's my baby. He is a handful. The easiest and most kind of fun dog that I ever got to share life with was a Yorkshire Terrier named
Okay.
Oliver.
Huh.
And when we first started Scouts, he was the one going to work with me every single day. He'd
Yeah.
sit on the center console in my truck
yeah.
and look out the windshield, and he was just my wingman, like ride or die.
Little Yorkie, huh?
Little Yorkie.
Yeah.
I used to have a Yorkie named Bella, and I didn't realize that my family didn't like her until I didn't have Bella anymore.
Yeah.
And then,
everyone told
the
you.
truth came out.
I like big dogs because all the small dogs I've had in my life have ended up with some type of a complication.
Yeah.
And they've passed away way too early, and it's too much of a heartache.
Yeah,
Right. So it's, big dogs. My last lab lived 16 years.
yeah,
I have an 8-year-old German Shepherd who could be 2 right now if you look at him. So I mean, the big dogs, they're a bit hardier.
yeah.
So I mean, and they serve a purpose too.
Sure.
Like they have a job they love to do, and it's fun to do that with them.
Are you telling me his French bulldog Rupert serves zero purpose?
No, Rupert's great.
Okay,
Rupert's the king.
I mean, that's the king of cocktail hour right there. Yeah.
He's even immortalized right here.
Right there, yeah. Like 10 times the size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, talking about dogs, did you know that I do some work with the WPA, which is the World Pet Association?
Okay.
And one of the things that we're currently trying to fight right now is, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Pete is trying to outlaw French bulldogs
I've
on
heard
a
about this.
national level.
Yeah. To be honest with you, as a guy that now has owned one, Rupert's 12 years old,
Yeah.
and he's healthy as a tank, but I also have made his food for him his entire life.
He's at the vet every month.
Yeah, but it's because I had insurance. So I canceled his insurance. I paid for health insurance for him. When I
Yeah.
started it, it was like $40 a month. Then, like this year, it got up to $340 a month. And I'm like, there's no way I'm paying $300 a month for dog insurance. So I canceled it. It's like, but he would make fun of me because anytime that Rupert would have like some kind of skin flare, I take him to the vet because it's like, it's free at that point. I'm already paying for it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like, might as well have the doctor see him.
So do you feel like French Bulldogs should be outlawed? Is that
no. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, if you want to get really into the weeds when it comes down to that kind of thing, I mean, pets are a completely unnecessary thing from if you look at it through that lens.
Yeah.
I feel like modern pet bulldogs should be outlawed as a guy that owns one because they've bred them into this, what everyone thinks is this cute, short snouted dog but every time you shorten that dog's snout, you're giving it more of an opportunity to have respiratory problems. That dog with like the blues and the merles and all these colors, those are all like, you're setting yourself up for hereditary issues, like back issues. They have IVDD is a huge problem with them. And it's
Yeah.
like being in that space now, I see how many people, and it's like hard, to your point, it's heartbreaking if they die early or you see this dog just wincing in pain. It's like, it sucks.
I mean, maybe there's a solution where they can sort of start to correct the breed
They got
from
to
a
do
genetic
correct
standpoint.
breed correcting, yeah.
But when it comes down to owning a companion animal, because the reality is you do own it. You know what I mean? It is a choice. Like, I have one rescue dog and I have one purebred dog, and I love them both equally. But for the purpose, I got the Labrador Retriever for a purpose, and those breed characteristics and what was the reason why that dog is coming to being as he is today was to serve my need. Now, now that I've fulfilled that, I also take on the obligation of making sure he has the highest quality of life that I can provide him.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to tell you how much I pay in terms of, I'm subscribed to a vet and I have pet insurance for both of them.
Yeah.
So it's because their health and well-being is important to me.
Absolutely.
And I mean, if my dog coughs wrong, my wife's like, you got to take him in. I'm like,
See,
you're not
Evan,
wrong.
maybe-
You're not
see,
wrong.
Maybe
Yeah.
Evan is the weirdo
Maybe
in
I
this
am.
group.
I treat my dog like a dog. I don't even get on the furniture. Not allowed.
I'm a
Rupert
believer
sleeps
in
in the
that.
bed.
I am
Okay.
a believer in that, but
Okay.
I've lost that battle a long time ago.
Yeah.
And not with the dogs.
Yeah.
No, but my wife is not in a bad way. She's in a good way. She is the epitome of the person who has humanized pets, which is I think a good thing.
Yep.
Right? Because I grew up with dogs. Dogs, growing up in Washington State, you owned a dog. That dog literally lived outside.
Yeah.
You get in California here, and I got a Labrador Retriever, and they're like, "Oh, you can't let the dog outside. It's
Yeah.
too cold outside." I'm going, I've watched a Labrador Retriever sleep in the snow.
Yeah.
It was one of the fun things we did when we were a kid
Yeah.
was go try to find the dog after it
Yeah.
snowed. You wake it up and things like,
find
But I like that people are taking better care of their pets. But I do think that if you have a particular type of animal or particular traits that you're looking for in an animal, you should be able to get that. I mean, it's not, you can adopt them. There's plenty of dogs if you want to. You should spend the time and the energy to go adopt it if you feel strongly that the breeding of them is not a necessity. But I mean, done right, you have this opportunity to really make a healthy animal that can fulfill that need for the owner and can live a great life.
Yeah. That's why it's really important to look into, especially with these kind of dogs, is look into the breeder.
You can't do Craigslist. Craigslist is the
Yeah.
worst. Like you got to go certified breeders, AKC certified if you're going for that purebred. You got to go to a reputable business and get it. Because what we're seeing happen is once they start to outlaw this stuff, it's the gray goods.
I got Rupert from a living room in Huntington Park.
Yeah. Well, and there's success stories there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just
now
don't
that I
know.
And
I
he
didn't
got him off
know.
Craigslist too, but it was weird. He was in the casual encounters section, went to the house, and there was dogs there, and he came home with a dog.
He was looking for an inexpensive plumber.
But seriously, I to your point, I didn't know. And now in hindsight, it's like Russian roulette, and I got lucky.
Yeah.
Like the gun didn't fire.
Well, and you only know what you know.
Yeah.
And it's so common for people to think I can go on Craigslist and grab a dog. But it's,
Sure.
I mean, it is something where it should be very tightly, and it is very tightly controlled. But you have a lot of scenarios where when you take away how many times have we seen this in the world in all different aspects of our life? You take away the legal ability to get something, and all you're doing is creating an opportunity
Sure.
for the
It's a black
illegal aspect
market.
of it, the
Yeah.
black market to come
Yeah,
in. Yeah,
sure.
So
Yeah.
that's a weird
What
one.
would you be doing if you weren't the CEO of Scouts Honor and you didn't have a job that you had to go to and work every day?
And you can't see assistant branch manager at Wells Fargo.
If this had never said, I'd probably be a handyman.
Handyman.
Yeah.
Because you find that fulfilling?
I like working with my hands.
Yeah.
I like making things, fixing things.
Yeah.
You know, in my heart, I'm a problem solver. Mm-hmm. It's just how I'm wired.
Yep.
I mean, that's where I get the most joy is finding it, discovering the problem or somebody bringing a problem to my attention, figuring out the appropriate, best possible way to solve that problem.
Yep.
A time in my life, I'm sure I was looking for the most creative way to solve that problem. Oftentimes, that's not the best way to solve the problem,
Sure.
right? So it's that's what I really enjoy.
Yep.
And I think that's the kind of the epitome of problem solving is being a handyman.
Yep.
I've done it. I mean, when we launched Scouts Honor, I did it nights and weekends for
Yep.
years.
Yep.
Until the business was at the point where I was like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah.
I can just do this.
Yeah. How long did it take before you guys were able to start kind of taking a salary and making a living at it?
We always paid ourselves a little bit, but I think I finally like literally gave away my tool belt in 2022.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's only been a few years that I've been working one job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do you like to get up to besides? I think younger Pete was really into the water.
Yeah.
Now a little bit older but still young Pete is what is that Pete into these days?
I've really trying to transition inland.
Inland.
Yeah.
And can you answer it in the third person? Well, younger Pete
Yeah.
is much
Pete
different than
likes-
older Pete.
Younger Pete realizes that he missed a lot when it
Okay.
came to what was going on onshore.
Okay.
I was so fascinated. So I grew up sailing with my dad and the Columbia River, and we race sailboats and do that kind of thing. And he was a huge skier, and then he took up surfing when I was probably 7. And so from that point on, it was just sail, surf, ski, any available moment. Prior to that, and I still have horrible memories of the amount of hiking they made us do when we were kids.
Yep.
I mean, how many times can you sing 100 bottles of beer on
Yeah.
the wall while walking? But I mean, we're in the Columbia River Gorge, so you can't really complain, right?
Yeah.
But I could definitely find a way to complain. So yeah, I grew up doing that. And then as soon as I got to be 16 and I had my own keys,
Yeah.
which no one does that anymore. 16th birthday, go get your license.
Yeah.
And then I was just straight up just standing on the beach looking out to sea. And
Yep.
that was it. That was my entire life. It's all I wanted to do. It came down, there was a moment, I remember it was like 94 or 95, and Jay Moriarty on the cover of Surfer Magazine doing the Iron Cross at Mavericks.
Oh yeah.
I found out he was like my age, and I'm maybe a year older than me. And I'm thinking to myself, I got 2 arms, 2 legs. Like he's my age, he's doing this, I can do that.
Yeah.
So it's just so driven to get in the water as often as I could. Now we kind of lived. If you went straight west, you'd hit the Oregon coast. So I grew up surfing in Oregon, and then got down to UCSB through all kinds of just weird happenstance, and ended up going to college at Santa Barbara, surfing, diving. Then when
Is that where you met Macon? Or did he go to Santa Barbara? Or?
No, Macon actually he's 9 years older than I am. So I met him later in life when I was kind of done working for Rip Curl. But yeah, I just doing the whole surfer thing from 18 on full time, and then kind of started hurting myself surfing. I mean, I went out one day and just sort of tweaked my knee so bad I couldn't surf anymore, and started sort of screwing around with seeing what was going on inland and kind of just reconnecting with some things that I had done in the past but not really been passionate about.
Sure.
So got really into spending time hunting. I like wing shooting a lot. Like that's a lot of fun for me. That's why I have the Labrador Retriever.
It's cool that you've been able to find a way to bridge the gap between your profession and your personal interest in that way, right?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah, there's this there's this beautiful bond between you and Bo when you do that, and like this trust that you've built and this training that he's got now to be very specifically, engineered or trained for that purpose, right? And it's like pretty amazing to see. I think you've
Pete
taken.
to date is the most well-trained dog I think I've ever seen. Yeah,
he does his one
he's
job
really
really well.
smart.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, 5 trainers have come to our office and tried to teach that dog how to sit. I mean, sorry, how to lay down.
Won't lay down.
He will not lay down. He's got too much energy.
Interesting.
No one can train that dog how to lay down.
I got invited to go hunting probably last year with Pete, and it was a day where there just wasn't a lot in the air, right?
No, we saw one dog.
But there was like this. I mean, it was really fun because I had brought a camera that day.
He got lots of cool pictures.
Oh, it was amazing
awesome.
because I was like, this is just like a Bo and Pete like love affair story today,
totally.
and it was so cool. Like it was awesome.
But
Bo,
apparently there were
Bo
no
had
birds.
a great time.
Apparently there were no birds.
No, we
birds.
saw one bird.
Yeah.
And we had an opportunity on it, and then it was just not close enough. And then it came back, and we both looked to our right, and it's coming right at us. And then some dude shot it. But it's I just going out there and sitting in the marsh is you're still paying attention to all the stuff that because I've just got this crazy overactive mind, and so it's like you pay attention to the weather, you're paying attention to this, you're paying attention to that, like all your surroundings are so important, and just having to be hyper aware of what's happening all around you all the time. There's never a moment when you can when you just get to zone out, and you're sitting there for hours. And I get to sit with my dog.
Are you able to drink when you're in there? Can you have some beers, or is it like because
technically-
you have a gun? I don't know if that's the best idea.
Technically, drinking and firearms are not
They usually
supposed
don't
to go together.
hand in hand, but
You wouldn't be the first person that ever had a beer while they were in
Gotcha.
the duck blind,
All right.
but it probably
it's frowned upon.
well, it's illegal. Yeah. So besides that, I mean, but
So I went shooting guns with my buddy Mike in Las Vegas, and you shoot guns, and then they have a bar at the shooting range, so you can go, but you have to
Yeah,
get.
Vegas is
I
the
guess
Wild
you.
West.
I guess you get a wristband when you go in there. So once you get the wristband, you can't go back and shoot.
yeah, I mean, maybe in Vegas, definitely not in California. Although California's got some funky rules, man. So who knows?
Yeah.
But there's that, and then I got really into jiu-jitsu because that just solved that. Both of those scenarios, strangely enough, I think the things that I appreciate about both those scenarios the most, and number one would be the people,
Yep.
right? So it's just you get to know people inside and outside of the activity, and that are just really, truly good people, and they're brought together by a passion for one thing in particular. But the interesting thing about both of those passions is they attract just completely different. They pull from so many groups. Surfing pulls from one group, right?
Yeah.
You don't surf realistically. You're not you're not really surfing unless you live within a mile from the beach. You live within a mile of the beach because you already fit a mold. You are a stereotype, right?
Yeah.
You're wearing the same shoe. You walk into any bar around here, we're probably wearing the same shoes, same style pants, same style shirt. You go to the duck club on a Saturday morning, and you have people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
All walks of life. You got the contractor sitting next to the construction worker, sitting next to the IT guy, sitting next to the, you name it. And we always said that does exist in surfing to a certain extent.
Yeah, you'll get like doctors and lawyers that are out there longboarding on the weekend, but it's not the same. I get what you're saying.
It's so skill based too, right?
Yeah.
The pecking order is based off of your skill. There's really no one cares. And I'll say it's the same thing to a certain extent in jiu-jitsu. I guess there is a competitive aspect of it that I've just never had any attention span for. But in both of those, everyone's really only concerned with their own performance. Like that's it, right? There's such an outward-facing persona in surfing that was in paddling, right? I mean, you walk down to the beach and somebody's you did well in a race, or you did well, you surf this break really well, and people know who you are because you're that guy, and there's that pressure. I go to the duck blind, I'm there with my best friend and my dog. No one cares. He doesn't care. I don't care. He just cares if he has a good day. I just care if I have a good day. We both care if mutually we'd like to have a good day. Jiu-jitsu is the same thing. It's just this constant flow of problem solving, right? So it's, surfing, there's a variety of different options you have when you're on a wave, but the waves are typically coming from fairly much the same direction, and there's not a whole lot of crazy variety that's going to go into the decision-making process at any given time. You might have a concept of what you want to do. Hunting is completely different. You have no idea where anything's going to come from. You don't know when it's going to come. You don't know where it's going to come from. You put a ton of time and effort into setting up the scenario to try to tip the odds in your favor. Jiu-jitsu is very much the same way, and it's this constant flow of decision-making. And it's very fluid because things happen not randomly, but they're constantly changing and moving. So the scenarios, you have to consistently adapt. And the worst thing you can do in either of these activities is think about it. If you're trying to think in the moment, you're going to fail. So it's in jiu-jitsu, if I'm trying to execute something and I stop to think about how to execute it, I will not execute it. And in hunting, we always joke around, like if somebody misses, you were looking at your gun.
Yeah.
It's like you can't look at, especially shooting shotguns, you can't look at what you're trying to hit.
Yeah.
Like at your gun, you have to look at what you're trying to hit.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, so I find a lot of synergy between those two activities. One is much more physical than the other,
Sure.
100%. But it's just from a mental standpoint, they're both very calming and very, interactive. You cannot be you can't be on your phone. You can't be having a conversation with the guy sitting next to you. If you wanted to a positive outcome, you can't just sit there and not pay attention to what's happening at that very moment.
Yeah.
And that's it. They're both such a great escape. And that's just, surfing just wasn't checking that box for me anymore. So I've sort of just moved in there. And then, again, opening my eyes to my surroundings, the things you see.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to me how much I feel like I missed over the last 35 years before I really started to dive back into these things when it comes to just being out there and how beautiful, a tree is.
Mm-hmm.
As weird as that sounds, and seeing things change over time, going to the same location over the course of years and seeing the way that it adapts, changes.
You probably see a different thing every time you go out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, last year we all of a sudden had 4 bald eagles start showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's just cool.
Probably not the smartest place for them to nest.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
I'm just saying, not everyone's got great vision. You just see something fly overhead. and-
Oops, I didn't have
Yeah.
my reading. I didn't have my glasses on.
Federal offense.
Yeah, I was gonna say they make a great. It's called
That's a big
penitentiary
duck.
stew.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there is a world. We try to relate these stories and these conversations and these experiences into something that can apply to business and marketing. And I heard some interesting things in that last story, in that in both of those scenarios, these things that you do day in, day out because you love them, you are faced with reacting quickly without overthinking. And from a marketing standpoint, I think that you guys have identified a way to act maybe more irreverent and less thinking about the repercussions or the ramifications of what those outcomes could be. But that you got something, and so you grab it by the tail and you just hold on and ride that wave. And in a way, the way Skout's Honor came to be was out of a quick, I'm assuming a faster reaction, in that we recognize the fact that all of these other brands and all these other products are having to make adaptations. There are new chemicals or substrates on the market that we recognize we can find a key differentiation pretty quickly. I'm about to walk into this job at Wells Fargo, or my buddy Macon says, should we just do this pet care brand? And what did you do? You didn't think about the 20-year plan here could differ. I'm going to make this at this Wells Fargo over 20 years and I'll become a branch manager. Or I'm going to react because I see there's a hole in the market and I see there's an opportunity here, and I know that I'm going to ride that wave, or I'm going to react quickly, and it obviously is paid off, right? And I'm trying to draw parallels or comparisons there, but there might be something there.
Well, it doesn't escape me.
Yeah.
Starting off with, I think when I talked about the business and I talked about the activities that I enjoy now, and I believe that there is a tight correlation between them. That's why
Yep.
I think all 3 of those things are so important to me.
Yep.
And number one thing I'll mention anytime you ask me about any of this stuff is the people.
Yep.
And it all started for me with Macon. I mean, the guy is amazing. I love the guy. If there was never a question in my head that I was going to go work with him again.
Yeah.
Because I respect him. I think he's got just a brilliant mind when it comes to product and identifying trends and things like that. And I think that the time I spent with him, my ability to interpret what he's seeing and saying and turn it into something that's actionable is that's what I brought to the table.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a perfect opportunity to really do something. I think that in all 3 of those activities, just the fluidity of things. One of the things that has made us very successful at Skouts, and that I find helps me be successful in my jiu-jitsu or in hunting, is being fluid to the situation and not being very formulaic. We oftentimes have a new person come in to Skouts and they feel like it's just chaos. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
They're like, I just like this. Like, we just need these tight structures, and we need this tight top-down management. We need this tight this and tight that. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but then if something comes out of the left field, and you're not set up for it, you can't accommodate it.
You don't have the ability to be fluid.
It's better to be fluid and deal with the chaos, but be able to quickly adapt to a new scenario that was unanticipated, than it is to be so set in your way. It could be in duck hunting. There's guys that like they set up this spread and they're just focused just on their spread and they're missing everything that's happening behind them. Or there's guys in jiu-jitsu who they like, I'm going to execute these moves. This is my move. And they just spend an entire round trying to do one move. And you see the guy who's really, really good at it. And just yesterday, the guy saying, hey, it's an axiom that like if you have an armbar, you have a triangle. If you have a triangle, you have an omoplata. If you have an omoplata, you have an armbar. Right? So it's like you can move between these things. Don't get caught up trying to do one thing, because you can accomplish your goal 3 different ways from the same position. And it's that is very similar between business and those activities. Yeah. And I love that about it.
Yeah, totally. You know what else is weird? Everything you're talking about is fluid. What's the most fluid thing in the world?
Water.
Which you're trying to, You grew up in it,
back to
dude.
waterman.
You're a waterman.
I'm supposed to go on a surf trip this weekend. I think it's getting pushed to next week. Yeah, it's getting pushed next week. So, I mean, I'm not completely out of it. It's just, I just toned it down.
Yeah.
It's physically from all the years of doing it. And there are people that can do it for the rest of their lives. There's the Kelly Slaters of the world who can still bend themselves in half and are made out of rubber.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I can kick. I can kick over my waist.
He's got a great high kick.
Yeah,
you got to see this guy's high kick. He's going to demonstrate it for you right after we're done here.
I'm probably the only person I know who, like, if you look at my X-rays, you'd think I played football, and all I was doing was surfing.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like shoulder this, knee that, a hip. Yeah. So it's, I mean, being is not. I don't think I'm the average size for a surf either. I don't think most surfers are walking around 205. So it's it's just always been a little bit. I don't know if I was ever built for the sport.
Sure.
But I did love it, and I do love it. I think it's a lot of fun. I still love body surfing, take kids to the beach and go body surfing. I love being in the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you should. It's fluid.
Yeah.
There
It
you
just
go.
doesn't have to be everything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's been so great chatting here. I feel like we got through some really cool stuff. We heard some really cool stories. I got to know you more, and I like you even more after this. And I really appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us and being a shady character.
Hey, I won't hold your bad judgment against you.
Give him a chance to plug.
Thank you.
Oh
guys.
yeah. Do you want to plug? Do you want to plug Skout's Honor? Tell us where we can find the products. Tell us where we find the brand, and kind of introduce our viewers to it.
Yeah. So Skout's Honor, been in business since 2010.
Skout's Honor with a K.
SKOUTSHONOR.com. Want to find out some more information. What we're truly proud of and what we would love people to support is that you can find us in almost every independent pet retailer in the United States. Have great cleaning products, wellness products, grooming products, pretty much anything you would need to help care and make life more easy when sharing it with an animal. And I just really appreciate every bottle that we sell. We feed an animal for a day, so we take that a portion of that sale, we give it directly to a partner who then helps provide rescues with food for the animals that they're taking care of free of charge. So it's something that we're very proud of. I believe last I checked, it was somewhere north of 30 million.
I was just going to say, how many meals have you provided at this point? 30 million
over,
meals.
Over 30 million meals, 33 million meals.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it's been very successful. It's one of the things I'm the most proud of when it comes to our brand.
Yeah.
But I will say that when it comes to quality of product, that's always number one for us. You will not find a better shampoo or stain remover on the market. So definitely check us out and give it a try. We're also available if you a real person at scoutshunter.com is the email address. If you want to email, ask any questions.
A real person.
Or you can always.
Are you a real person?
Oh, are you a real person?
No, just a real person.
A real
at
person at
scoutshunter.com. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can also just call. And anybody who wants to call me, just call the office.
Yeah.
And I'm always available to chat if you have any questions about the brand.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you. No, Macon's a huge French Bulldog guy. I think that's
right.
why I
That's
feel
right.
this way is because the amount of times that I've hopped in the passenger seat of his sprinter van and sat on dog poop or just a dog try to, like blowing snot all over me and trying to eat my toes. So, no, all good.
Is this Tim peeing again?
Probably.
What is happening with Tim?
And he's not a young guy. Prostates are a real
Apparently,
thing, bro.
yeah. Tina gives us goals every week as an office, and every week, drink more water is on there. I think you need to not put that as a goal for Tim.
How much water are you asking them to drink here?
Well, I don't have very high standards for someone.
Mikey drinks. He's lucky if he drinks a bottle this big a week.
Jeez,
Yeah, I
kidding me?
know.